What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? Hit that like button as you come in. Hit the like button as you come in. Because today I'm going to talk about a couple things and I'm going to make a little bit of an announcement, blah, 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 blah. So, I hope you're ready. Got your popcorn going. And we about to do the damn thing. Give me 10 seconds. Oh, I forgot. There we go. Yeah, we're Roots. Hold on. Hold on. Alright, let me cut this volume down. Alright. First off, I want to thank everyone that has been donating. Thank you guys for showing up. And I've got, oh shit. I got a couple things I want to talk about today. Thank you for hitting that like button as you come in. Hit the like button as you come in. Hit it, smash it. Hit it, turn up. Okay. Well, all right, I'm gonna be settled in just a second. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. You know, I always plan this and don't do what I need to be doing how I need to be doing it. So, well, I'm going to apologize right off because I know it's windy, and if I'm low, let me know. If I'm low, let me know. So, I want to start off with a couple of gripes, as you guys already know I do, because for whatever reason, I got to say the same thing over and over and over and over again. I don't mind helping anyone out. But whenever I'm asking you to do something, if you come for my help and you make a choice not to do it, that's cool with me, but you cannot expect me to, one, clean that up once you don't follow up. Two, if I ask you to do something and you choose not to do it, cool, because I can actually stop doing it for you. You continue doing it by yourself, because if you knew how to do it properly, you wouldn't have called me. And lastly, I will not, won't even contemplate, will not think, will not even review or have an oversight. I will not do anything for free outside of YouTube, because I'm actually about to stop returning phone calls, because again, we're still at that number, and for some strange reason, I can tell people, I can say on all these videos, I do not do anything for free. I do not work on contingency. If you are unable to make a donation of any kind, or you think it is not worth your time or sacrifice to donate anything for my time, you can watch these videos. Because if you don't have enough money or courtesy or appreciation, or you feel that your situation doesn't deserve any compensation, then you go ahead and do that. Because I don't have time for that, not even going to entertain it. So that's my gripe for today. And for anybody else, I am not ever at any point in life going to do any favors or anything on contingency. So, yes, this wind is blowing, and no, I don't have corona. But anyway, hope everybody's good. I hope the wind isn't too bad. And I just saw Jingy pop up. What's up, Jingy? I appreciate you showing up. Now, I told you guys yesterday, Saturday, because I did not have the question and answer on yesterday. Hopefully, we can do that on tomorrow or either later on this evening. But for right this second, what I want to do is I've actually put a couple of donation links inside the chat session. You know, we got Super Chat, Cash App, Venmo, Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, The Supreme Decisions. Appreciate you, Jingy. And those that want to send from their bank account, we have Zelle. Okay, I think this actually might work a little better. Look a little better here? Well, can you see me better? I know I don't look any better, but can you see me better? Can you see me now? Okay, but I did have a conversation. There were two conversations that went on. Two questions that was asked. One was about the Michael Bloomberg stop and frisk and his conversation. Now, I'm going to go into that today. I'm not sure how long that's going to take, but it's going to be going into. And then there was a question about 18 U.S. 242. Now, I appreciate you. The reason why I'm actually going to do these together, because normally when we make these type of questions and it becomes a show topic, generally this is for a sponsorship spot. However, today I'm going to use it as just a general question because it is what it is. And I actually thought it was pretty good because I had already talked about going in with Michael Bloomberg. And this ties into that. So we're going to make it roll and do what it do. So, goodness. All right, many of us have seen or heard the comments that was made by Michael Bloomberg regarding stop and frisk. And the gist of it was he talked about targeting low income and minorities. Now, I want you to get this, the understanding that it's not a secret. This is not something new. This is not something that was just and shocking to the people that it was affecting. This was shocking to people that did not believe the constant comments, the constant jokes, the constant statements of people that were being affected by it were saying it because it was looked at as people were whining. This is also something that I talk about constantly because it's not the war on crime, because that's bullshit. It is the war on the poor. Just so happen the constructs of it are minorities because that's the way this country was built. And the tolerance of ignorance, the celebration of ignorance, the celebration of foolishness is one of the things that is actually engaged in mostly amongst the poor because they believe that's the way of life. Because a lot of times I even deal with people that are in my life that will have some crazy shit happen that to me I can say as avoidable. Because it's something that I say, you know what, you can do something different. Even one of the rappers that I was listening to in New York, he spoke about in a rap that I know a lot of people don't listen to because he was talking about something that didn't have to deal with bitches and hoes or killing someone. And he talked about how you can evolve from the projects. And absolutely. And the constructs of it is most people have accepted a way of life, which is why I also did a post a while back that talked about the 75% that never leave the place that they're in. And I actually looked at my own family construct, and I fall into that same category as far as the 75%, because 75% of my people have not left the places they were born in. Now me, I've gone, my brothers have gone, a couple other aunts and uncles, they've left the place they were born in, but the other 75% are still there. So understanding that, these are things that are brought up. Now, the unfortunate thing is, because I even talked about when I was given information by my father, he said, hey, you got to do something else, because those guys that you running behind, when you get older, they're going to still be on the same street corners. They're still on them same street corners. So it is what it is. But when I heard the actual statements come out of Michael Bloomberg, hey, thank you, thought-provoking. So I hope you understood what I was saying to that question that you had asked, or that statement that you had made. Because for me, worrying about your side is the craziest. Absolutely. The worrying about your side is one of the most asinine things there is, because again, just like I spoke about, the accused talks first. The accused is the only one that has to prove anything. The accused talks longest, and the accused talks last. Nobody cares about the defense. Nobody cares about your side. Make them prove what they're talking about. That's it. Now, but to go back to the constructs of Michael Bloomberg. Now, I understand Michael Bloomberg as a businessman. I got it. That's what he do. But when I look at Michael Bloomberg and I hear those statements, again, I was not shocked. Because to me, my opinion, that is the mindset of most 65, 75, 85-year-old white men. Because they believe, honestly, they honestly believe everybody that's a minority is a criminal. They're teaching police officers, not just in New York, but all across the country, everybody's a minority is going to hurt you. Everybody is a criminal until proven otherwise. These are the things that are etched in, not only in their minds, but it's etched into society, because that is part of the programming. That is why they're dumbing down our educational system and making us less responsible, because nobody wants to guide our children anymore. We want to accept foolishness. They want us to accept and be tolerant of ignorance, and I can't do that. So, you know, you do what you do, that's your house. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Just don't bring it to me. Don't expect me to be happy about your stupidness. It is what it is. And I'm okay with that. I don't have to like you. You don't have to like me. There are several conversations that people have, but I just don't like them. And if they don't like me, guess what? We don't be around each other. That's the easy. Now, to get into the actual legalities, absolutely, sheep indoctrination, that is absolutely 100% correct. But now, I'm going to get into the exacts of why the stop and frisk itself is 100% illegal. Because there are a lot of people that don't think there's an issue with it, because they look at the hindsight of it. Because the hindsight is when it was implemented, and it was implemented as a absolute enforcement policy. Was there a crime construct where it went down? You have to understand okay, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that question. See, I'm going to need you to stay focused. But no, the constructs of it is, they use the word crime. The crime initiative went down when it was implemented. Now, here's the problem. Because the evolution of the word crime in the aspects of what they spoke about ended as murder. Murders declined. crime and the arrest went up. I'm going to say that one more time. They used the word crime prevention and saying crime went down. That is an absolute lie. Murder went down. Crime went up. Arrest went up. Why? Because it's about revenue. It has nothing to do with law. Now, let's talk about the actual law. Because I'm gonna let y'all see my note taker, so y'all can see where your money goes. That's the iPad that I broke at Apple without getting the insurance on it. And I have the Apple Pencil, and my dumb ass was about to go and purchase a notepad about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then I thought about, like, hold on, I got an iPad with an Apple Pencil. Why am I doing that? So that's my notepad. But now I'm going to give you the easy. The easy is Terry B. Ohio. Say that one more time. Because, again, the law says Terry B. Ohio, because why is that? The supreme law of the land. The supremacy clause of the Constitution, Supreme Court decisions, federal statutes. That's the law of the land. The law of the land states casual encounters can be terminated at any time. That is one of the reasons why a lot of people go out and they say, hey, am I free to go? Because depending on that answer, I'm going to say, depending on how the officer answers that, determines what type of stop it is and what their procedures are. Because just like we spoke about, I say this constantly. I say it over and over and over. Florida v. Royer. You are free to ignore the police if they are calling out to you. Why? Because they have a duty for your benefit. And that is another great statement. I refuse to speak without counsel. Why? Because you have the right to shut the fuck up. And for whatever reason, most people have or lack the ability to shut up. You got the right to remain silent. Their restriction is to quit questioning you until there is somebody present that you want to speak on your behalf. And if you don't want to speak on your behalf, they have to do their job properly. And if they choose to do otherwise, because one of the things, I'm going to show you guys a video. I actually meant to do this last week. I saw a video, it's Diamond something music, Diamond 24 music. And they had an encounter with a police officer. And one of the things the police officer said was, if you don't give me your name, I'm going to take you down to fingerprint you. Now, the problem with doing that is, what part of the investigation was that? Because there's a case, I'm actually going to go over that in another live, where you've got to have something that goes with your investigation, where probable cause exists for you to get those fingerprints, or you need permission from the person, which will be consent, or you're going to have probable cause to get a warrant, because they're either going to need your permission or the permission of the judge. I'm going to say that one more time. Your permission or the permission of a judge. Now, does that sound like an authoritarian? They need permission from you or a judge to do something. And if it doesn't come from you, they need to be witnessing something. And see, here's the great part about that. In Indiana, in Maryland, in New Mexico, in Texas, you go ahead and tap them pockets because they're expecting you not to know. That's a criminal damages violation. And again, it's part about what I'm going to talk about in just a little. I'm going to get to it. Y'all rushing me. You're rushing me. I'm getting to it. Let me get to it. But no, that is actually great. But you also have to understand when they do something in violation, you either have a willful act or you have ignorance. That disqualifies one from qualified immunity. And because of 18 U.S. 242, you get to tap those pockets. But you do it in their individual capacity, because the second they make that willful act that violates either the restrictions set forth on them inside the United States Constitution, or they're doing it because they're enforcing policy, which is ignorance, they are then liable to you, whether you are injured or not. That also is in 18 U.S. 242. Deprivation of rights under the color of law. Now, as we go, I want you to understand something. Because I had a young man to speak to me. That's per the United States of America. If you are in any place in the Republic, you are under federal law. So wherever federal law exists, that's where you go. So one of the things that most people kind of forget, because Terryville, Ohio gave a long, extensive summary for the most part in the end of their decision. And going through it, I told you that it states police safety or officer safety is not law. Now, I've even told you they become guilty of 18 U.S. 242 if they insist on doing a pat-down or doing a warrantless search without exigent circumstances or your consent or the consent, which will be a warrant from a judge, because they would have to first point to the dangerous area. I even showed you a video probably about a year ago where the young lady was doing the interrogation, or having a police officer, he was testifying, and she asked him, "What made you conduct this pat down?" Officer said, "Oh, there was a bulge in her left pocket." They pulled out the contents of the left pocket, which was a necklace, which could not have caused a bulge. And they ended up throwing out all of the evidence because the officer did not have consent, did not have probable cause, and he lied on the stand. These are things which are part of fighting back that you have to do. At Arizona v. Gant, 556 U.S. 332, 2009. A lot of the things they'll say is, "Oh, well, I want to pat you down for my safety. I don't know what you have." And yeah, that's bullshit. I don't know you. You buying me dinner, what you filling me up for? You know, because an officer must demonstrate an ongoing threat by the arrestee or a need to preserve evidence, i.e., the evidence. Here's the great part about that related to the crime that you are preventing the tampering from. Now again, when I say preventing from the crime, remember I told you about a story where the officer was not cited because they assumed that the officer had articulated a crime. And in the assumption, they had come up with the simple fact that there was no challenge of it. So if there's a challenge about a pat down, the officer had to have already stated that a crime occurred and that there was a complaining witness to be confronted. There was damage to personal property. If that does not happen and the pat down occurs and it's not relating to the actual the encounter, everything is then illegal. And that actually goes for passengers as well, because even in Brindlin v. California, which I don't know what the hell's going on with y'all guys out in California, but yeah, California is doing some other stuff. Once the stop has occurred, everyone is seized. So everybody then becomes subjected to the Terry stop. Because here's again the greatest forms of that. When we're talking about the stop and frisk, remember, they got to articulate. If they don't articulate a crime, Delaware v. Prowse. What's the other one? Hybel v. Nevada. You ain't got to turn over an ID. Why? Because you don't have to participate in their investigation. Florida v. Royal. All of those tie in together. So if you're just stopping out, telling somebody to get up against the wall because you want to search them and you haven't articulated anything, it's illegal. Now, give you a little brief history. Now, the statements that we heard from Michael Bloomberg, they occurred in 2015. Now, you and I both know that that's not when Michael Bloomberg was even elected and all that other good stuff. But prior to that, and this was something that Thought Provoking brought up, prior to that, in August 12, 2013, Michael Bloomberg had actually sought to appeal the federal court ruling that the stop and frisk decision in federal court was unconstitutional. So 2 years prior to him even making those statements, 2 years prior to what we actually heard, he had already begun to continue to enforce something that we know was going against the minorities in New York State. Now, New York stop and frisk became common practice. Okay, actually, I'm glad you know what, I'm gonna come back to that. I'm glad you brought that up. The thing is, the reason why it's becoming common practice is because no one challenges it. Whenever I say 95% of people just go along with the flow, they're being programmed that what the police are doing are correct. Nobody's going like this. Nobody's searching these Supreme Court cases. Nobody's understanding how to apply them in a case. Why? Because only 5% of people are fighting back. 5%. 95% are contributing to the revenue generation. So to actually think something is going to be different, their mindsets are still plugged into the matrix. Their mindset is to go with the flow, because again, they cannot reconstruct their mind, because their mind is telling them what the police are doing all right. That's why it's so difficult for somebody to hold a police officer at a higher standard than somebody that works at McDonald's, because you'll have an absolute fit if your Big Mac wasn't warm, but you'll allow a police officer to completely just eradicate your rights, and you're good with it. Oh, well, he beat my ass and he doing me a favor, so I'm gonna just go ahead and take this year in prison. Yeah, good luck with that. Because at the end of the day, if I'm going to get in somebody's ass because my burger's cold, I'm going to get in the ass. Thought provoking. I'm gonna need you to stay patient, dude. Good God, man. But if I'm gonna get in somebody's ass about a cold hamburger, I am definitely gonna get in somebody's ass that's getting six figures. That is the one thing, or the one reason why I talk about you gotta tap them pockets. Because the only way a corporation learns is by paying. And that's the craziest part about it. And that's what I constantly talk about. Now, the stop and frisk policy came into common practice for the police in New York in when? April 1999, under the tutelage of then Mayor Rudy Giuliani. That was actually part of his mission statement. Most people forget about Rudy because he was 2001's Times Man of the Year because he was doing a lot of talking when the towers went down. He was there. He was in the spotlight. He was saying a lot of intelligent stuff. He was also corrupting the shit out of New York, even worse than it was. And now, thought-provoking, here's the question or statements and all that good stuff. As a result, from the stop and frisk, New York currently is $3 billion backwards in settlements. Now, here's the crazier part, because remember I just said from 1999 to now, they're $3 billion. The unconstitutional setup was in 2013, so 7 years ago. Settlement offers weren't even in practice until after 2015. So let's say the last 5 years, right? Here's what they've been doing. Because, again, it's happening to people that are poor. So they're settling literally for pennies on the dollar. They affected so many people. They're contacting them and saying, hey, you had a court case, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. And then, yeah. Well, look, there were some issues with your case. You're getting a refund. Or we're going to cut this check to you for $500, $2,000. And they're accepting these low-ass settlements. Now they can never bring them back up. Many of the police officers have been relocated, not fired, relocated. Many of the files that they've had in those stop and frisks have been destroyed because those are the things that were allowed in this context. Now, for people, again, that were surprised by what was said, that are upset about Michael Bloomberg's statements, those are the people that didn't believe folks when they were talking about it was going on. And it was only affecting a certain select group of people. That select group that came out of his mouth. He used the words copy and paste and just hand it out. You want to find all the crime? You just copy and paste that. Just go there. Are you serious? Are you serious? But again, that wasn't shocking to the people that it was affecting. That was shocking to people who didn't believe the people that was happening to. That's it. Because most people are programmed to believe police are good people. They're honest people. Now, unfortunately, I can't believe somebody that I know is going to lie to me. I can't believe anybody I know that will look me in my face constantly and lie to me and lie about what they're doing. Now, here's the greatest part of that. The reason why these settlements are going at it is United States v. Morales and 18 U.S. 242. A police officer executing law, policy, or actions based on the misapprehension of law, even if it's reasonable. So even if every time they jumped out the car, it was somebody they knew was in the midst of some shit, they can't go on a hunch. Terryville, Ohio. They actually have to be specific about what they're talking about. They're not. So even if it is reasonable, it's illegal. Why? Because the law is exact. The law is specific. The law is unforgiving. It doesn't take any size, and it's emotionless. But the problem is most of us want to speak Ebonics versus speaking the language of the land, speaking the language of the law. And we want to challenge these people without doing it properly. And that's where everything comes in, because that's where you hear a lot of people talking about the color of law, the color of law, the color of law. My question is always that, okay, you know that, why? Very few can actually give me the why. The reason why you're on this channel today is because I give you the why. I give it to you a little bit at a time because I want to make sure you can digest it, but I give you the why. I'm not just sending you out here blind saying, hey, buy my system because this is, or here's a template of this motion. No. I'm giving you meat and potatoes. I'm not giving you anything microwave. I can't do the microwave. And if you want something instant, I'm not your guy. I'm going to tell you that now. Anybody that's worked with me, they'll tell you, yeah, this motherfucker's slow as shit. He get to you when he get to you. But I'm also going to give you something that's quality. I'm going to make sure you got meat on your bones when I hand it to you. I want to make sure your plate full because I'm country. I'm going to make sure the plate full, make sure you're eating good. So that's why I do this. I'm giving you the why. Because the Constitution is set up of government's restrictions. And it's restricted from infringing on your life, infringing on your liberty, infringing on your pursuit of happiness. These are the things that a lot of folks are missing, because that's everything the stop and frisk does. It infringes on your life. It infringes on your liberty. It infringes on your pursuit of happiness. But then they want you to accept bullshit and say, well, shit happens. No, we can't roll with that. So I'm actually, I got to change the page now. I got to give you something else, because now we're gonna get into an absolute due process is the key. But here's the thing: if you don't know what that is, what is that you're doing? If you don't know what the process is, what good does it do you to want to argue about something that you don't have a full understanding of? And 18 U.S. 242, deprivation of rights under color of law, is willfully and under the color of law to subject a person to the deprivation of rights secured or protected by the Constitution. I use the word willful constantly. Willful, because that means there was a thought process. Willful is used in law constantly because, again, we're thinking these motherfuckers are competent. We're thinking they're actually making decisions. We're thinking that these are people of substance. The problem is most of these motherfuckers are idiots and they're robots, and they're used to dealing with 95% knuckleheads, and they forget that 5% of the people that they encounter every day, 5% of them have some sort of sense. You don't have to treat everybody the exact same way. You're not gonna have, I can meet 20 people today. I will not have the exact same encounter with all 20 of them. And that's just walking around. So why would I think whenever I come up in contact with somebody and I know that nobody wants to see me, why in the hell would I expect them to act in a manner other than motherfucker get away from me? Why would I expect that? Why would I expect them not to have some sort of guard up? Because just like I was telling this one police officer, he said, okay, well, they should be, matter of fact, it wasn't to the police officer, it was to the police commissioner in Arizona, because the July 4th shit with Starbucks last year, because I actually got tweets taken down off Twitter. I could not even believe that. I was bullying a police officer because I told the police commissioner if the Arizona police officers that were asked to do one of two things, and they made a choice to do one of those two things, and then to get upset about the choice they made, which kind of gets into the fact of they made a conscious choice to become police officers, and then they expect us to feel sorry for them because of the choice that they made to become a police officer and their job is dangerous. Motherfucker, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. When you decided that you was going to become a police officer, when you picked up that pen and paper and you started typing or writing down, and hell, even typing, when you sat in those classes, you knew what the job entails prior to. But I actually got taken down because I told him, because he was like, oh, well, people need to be respectful of the police officers. My actual retort was simple. If you want respect and you want people to be comfortable around you, you should do something that allows them to be comfortable around you, and you should be respectful. Because at the end of the day, if you're killing you're killing civilians, one every 5 days. Not my words, it is literally in the Arizona paper. Arizona wrote about how the Arizona police officers are killing one of their citizens, one every 5 days. And then their police chief in Phoenix says it's the citizens' fault that the police officers have no self-control. But I'm the bully. I'm going to say that one more time. I'm the bully because I pointed out if they wanted to respect, they should be respectful. But anyway, so get back on the subject that I never got on really. But the willful acts that come from that, and when you speak about the color law, you're generally speaking about policy. And when they're enforcing policy, because even writing a citation is policy. Why? Because it's revenue generation. When they're choosing to do things that, oh, I'm going to take you in and fingerprint you, that's policy. California, they take you down if they're your suspected drunk driver, they take you down and forcefully take your blood. Why? Because most people don't fight back. And then two, they don't know that's illegal. Because that's policy. They're making conscious choices. And with this, I'm going to get into something else because I've already talked about this once before, because ignorance of the law is not an excuse. The problem is, in Owen v. the City of Independence, most people misconstrued that statement inside that court case because they were talking about police, which is why 18 U.S. 242 is why it's effective. Because when you are understanding ignorance of the law is no excuse, they're talking about the police. They're law enforcement. So how in the fuck are you enforcing law if you don't know what law is? I'm going to say that one more. How are you enforcing law when you don't know what law is? Law is literally in your job title. So when it becomes policy enforcement? And I'm gonna get it up in there. I need something to eat. But I want y'all to also understand something. I don't get paid for this, but tomorrow is free pancake day at IHOP. It's International Pancake Day. Tomorrow, IHOP, free pancakes. Go to IHOP, get your pancake on. I told you. So, if you want to, you can send me some money for some juice. Like $2 for, I think they little ass juice like $2. So I take $2 on the Cash App, or even the Supreme Decision on PayPal. Oh, you know what? I'll take the sandwich. I ain't even mad at you. Yeah, sandwich. Love sandwiches. Call me bro man from the 5th floor. But what happens is you have a construct for 18 U.S. 242, and it's United States v. Price, 383 U.S. 787. It's a 1966 case. Now, remember, all this came from Bloomberg. We got onto this because of Bloomberg's statements about stop and frisk. I went into a little bit of why stop and frisk is illegal. I talked about Terry v. Ohio. I went into Florida v. Royer. I've gone into a couple other cases and talked about that. But here's the gist of it, because here's where I'm gonna add a couple other folks to this, because the questions get asked. I've gone over this in regards to security guards. Pay attention to what I just said now. I've gone over this in regards to security guards. Point A in United States v. Price. The act, under color of law, does not require the accused to be an officer of the state. It is enough that he or she is a willful participant in joint activity with the state or its agents. Now, when I talked about the security guards, I'm actually going to put up a video where, one, there's an off-duty cop that hits a guy in the mouth with a baton at Target. He's off duty, for one. Two, they can only act if there is a felony. Shoplifting is not even a criminal act. It is a civil act. Now, what happens is most people don't do this properly. And just like I talked about many moons ago, and the incident with the off-duty officer who had on a body cam, who turned his body cam over to his supervisors, they didn't turn it over to the court. You know who turned the tape over to the court? Bystanders and Target. I have another video where an off-duty police officer is tackling a young lady in the parking lot because she refused to show her receipt. This young lady did not sue. They did her a favor by not pressing any charges against her, you know, the victim. This guy cannot act unless there is a felony. Because the only time your liberty can be restrained by a citizen, because that's what they were off duty, is when there is an immediate threat to others, or there is a commission of a felony, which is damage to person, damage to property. And I'm gonna give you a couple other ones. There were imminent threats, because I'm not sure if you guys remember the young man that was in Tennessee who was trying to get into the mosque. He could not get into the mosque, so he immediately takes the shotgun, goes into a Walmart. I don't know what the hell is going on with goddamn Walmart, but yeah, I haven't gone for a while. I try to stay away from Walmart. Walmart is not good for anybody, because yeah, these motherfuckers go into Walmart and just let loose. This man goes into Walmart, kills a young lady that's standing next to her granddaughter, goes into the parking lot and kills an elderly man who's holding his grandson. Now, what most of us forget is how this young man was stopped. There was a civilian who saw him shoot the elderly man. He then returned fire, hitting the gunman. He was not charged with discharging his weapon. He was not charged with not having, absolutely. He was not charged with anything, because there was an imminent threat, and they looked at him as a security guard. And even here, I want to say it was about 3 months ago, young man goes into a church here in Texas. He shoots one of the churchgoers. He is then shot multiple times by multiple church members, because I guess he forgot he was in Texas. Yeah, we do guns here. So he was shot and killed here, and they were not charged because, one, they were protecting the lives of others, and there was imminent danger, and a felony had been committed. They weren't doing the Minority Report. None of them was trying to be Tom Cruise and go with the precogs. They actually acted after a felony had been committed. There was a crime. There was imminent danger. That's when the guns were drawn. That's when they acted. That's when the law allowed it to be so. That is when you can defend the lives of others. Why? Because you have right to life, you have right to liberty, and you have the right to the pursuit of happiness. These are the things that are taking, or you're able to exercise those in. Actions of a citizen's arrest because of a felony. Now, here's the greatest part of this second one, because I'm going to go into something. Enacted upon the state via the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. Most of us don't realize the fact that the reason you're able to sue a police officer, the reason you're able to sue the state for enforcing statutes that are not constitutional, that or policies that are unconstitutional, is through the 14th Amendment. And I talked about this with the selective incorporation doctrine, because I talked about 3 or 4 cases that was overturned simply because they did not agree with federal law or the law of the land. Because invalidated state statutes that were not in agreement with federal law or the supreme law of the land, you do not have, basically, there is no spoon. They don't exist. Because there are safety issues. Those are not law. The state is, oh, state law, state law, state law, state law. And then when you look at it, it's organic code. Code. No, I go by law. I don't go by codes. Codes are safety issues. And unfortunately, that's, again, a part of the revenue generation. And Monroe v. Pape, P-A-P-E, 365 U.S. 167, 1961. The intent or being a willful participant plays no role in liability. The reason I brought that up is because I constantly told you guys about the bullshit with going into Walmart, going into Target and those places, and they constantly got sued because their guards thought they had some type of authority, and they were grabbing people and holding them and putting them in rooms. And because even Kmart, I'm gonna actually give you that case about shoplifting, because it's Kmart that actually started all of this, that said their employees cannot grab anybody. That's it. And the thing is, when Walmart holds you in those little rooms, now, whether you go to jail or not, whether that's their intent or not, because they grabbed you, because they held you, they are then liable to you personally. Just like whenever I told the tow truck driver when he took my truck in Atlanta. He was like, well, why are you so calm? I said, because I'm getting ready. I don't get upset with folks that's finna hand me money. Why? Why am I mad? I'm mad you giving me $1 million. No, I gotta hit them pockets. Here's the tea. When I served him with those federal court papers the next day, he looked crazy. He was going, no, I was doing work. True. But you made a conscious choice to do something somebody else told you to do that was unlawful. That means you are an actor in concert. Remember, I think I said that a little while back. Actors in concert. That's actually something the police use, right? Isn't that what they also use in the gang affiliation shit? Gang activity? Actors in concert. So Monroe v. Pape, P-A-P-E, gives you the role of actors in concert. or exactly, accessories after the fact. That's where those terms come from. Those are the reinforcement of those terms. That's the why. The allowing of the deprivation to continue. That is an actor in concert. Those are the acts that we speak about with the blue wall because they're actors in concert. And I also told you about, I used the video from Atlanta. Yeah, you know, place I used to love. Well, I still love, forever I love Atlanta, but yeah. Peace up, A-Town down. But still, V. Furman, 2007. Supervisors can be held liable for the actions of their subordinates. Why? Actors in concert, allowing the deprivation to continue. The acts of the blue wall. Monroe v. Pate. Those are the same thing I constantly say over and over and over and over again. And that's why when you ask for a supervisor at a stop and they come to the scene and the deprivation continues, you're arrested without cause, you're incarcerated, you're issued a citation. All of those are continued deprivations. Why? Because all of those go directly against your pursuit of happiness. All of that goes against the directness of the things that you are actually looking for. They are all liable. And that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to go check out Patreon, $20. The month is almost up. More videos are going to be going up. And that's where I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into teachings. So become a Patreon patriot. I guess that's how you say it. Absolutely, Patreon. And in March, probably around St. Patrick's Day, we're going to have Supreme Decision gear that I'm going to be putting together. So I'm going to also hopefully have the website up by then so you guys can grab some t-shirts, and I'm going to have a couple of hoodies, a couple of light hoodies like this to start out with. And for you colder areas like Chicago and New York and everywhere but here, I'm going to have some thicker hoodies. They're going to be probably about an extra 10, 15 bucks, but you guys know it's cold, so yeah, y'all deal with it. Because it's your choice to be in that cold ass spot. That's your fault. And lastly, but not least, this year, going to be doing a masterclass. One is going to be online. I'm also going to be doing some traveling to do some speaking. So if you want me in your city, start letting me know about some venues and all that good stuff and how many people we're going to have there. Because to be honest with you, I don't need a whole bunch of people. We can do about 20. If we can get 20 in every spot, I'm good. I'll be there, come for a couple of days, get me a sandwich somewhere, and we can go on and chop it up. But again, this whole point is to make sure that we are all educated. We are all set up to where we can be successful when we are challenging. We don't want our cases looked at as frivolous, and we don't want to be dismissed. Ooh, see, you want that hen dog. No, we can't roll with the hen dog. I stopped drinking in 2008. So, hey, we can get Arizona, get some Arizonas and some Red Bull or something. So, I appreciate it, though. You can drink the hen dog. I'll sit with you. I'll get a couple Red Bulls or something. But yeah, the whole thing is, I want to make sure not only that we have an idea of what we're supposed to be doing, but when we are fighting back, that we do it properly. Hey, that's what's up. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And lastly, for all of you, absolutely, Ali, L, you know, we're gonna have to come up with a new nickname for you. Because I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong, but it's L-E. So we're going to keep it that way. We're going to, until you correct me, we're going to keep it rolling. But thank you guys that have been donating, keeping us going and keeping us growing. Dexter, I appreciate you. Who was it? Because it was a couple guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to write them down next time. I have it ready for you guys. But again, Apple Pay. That's just the messenger. Google Pay. That's the email. Venmo. Supreme Decisions. Cash App. Zelle. That's the email. Greatest Now at Yahoo. And PayPal, the Supreme Decision. And the reason I do that, because somebody asked me the other day, the reason I do that is because if you guys watch college football, every other person that steps on that, they'll say, hi, I'm DeMarcus Johnson from the Ohio State University. So, yeah, I like that. The Supreme Decision. So, yeah, that's about it. Love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Got new uploads coming. Always be sure you guys go and check the community tab because I also put stuff there. So, see you next time.